Hello, I'm Karen from the beautiful coastal town of Sedgefield in the Western Cape in South Africa. And welcome to my very first Cricut tutorial. Please know that while you're watching this, I've watched quite a few tutorials before I took on this adventure. So two things I want to tell you. First of all, English is not my first language, the end. And secondly, I'm very new to Cricut and design space, so I look forward to learn with you as we go along. So join me on this journey.
But today I want to show you how to make this. Okay, so I got a picture of this sort of image that I wanted to do. This is actually the final product of what I made. So I'm just going to go with you through the steps on how to do this. First of all, I counted the circles. So in other words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 circles. So let's go down back to design space, and I'm adding shapes, and I want to add circles. So the very first one that opens will be your, in other words, the largest circle. So you must decide on the size. Let's make it 10. Okay, cool. With the size option there. So now I want to add another circle. And this circle, if you look at the image, let's just go back to the image. The very first circle must be a dark circle. So the next circle we'll be adding, we'll make it a little bit smaller. Where that one is 10, this one will be, let's put it as 9.5 and see how it fits in there. I think that is cool. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, I think 9.2 will be okay. This one I want white, so I go to the color there where the dark block is, and I want to make it white. Alright, so this is not centered, so all I have to do now is, I'll get it right, drag and choose both those circles, and I go to align and I click on center. Now it's perfectly in the middle. So I'm adding my next circle. We are now doing circle number 3. If I go back to the image, it will be the little white line in there. So let's go back. This one I need, where that one is 9.2. Let's make this one 8.9. And I think let's look at the image quickly. That must be smaller than the black, that little white line there. I choose all of them, align, center. This middle one, white. Okay, cool. So the next circle must be that big white circle there. So let's go back, add another shape. Let's try it as it is. Maybe make it a little bit smaller still, because we need a bigger. Let's make it 7. And I also want this one white. Let's choose all of them, align, center. Let's make it about 6.5. Let's align and center. I just want to say through the video, anytime you feel you have a question, please feel free to ask questions. I'm going to make this circle even a bit smaller. Please feel free to ask questions. I will definitely answer them. Okay, let's see. The next circle we want is another dark one and then a small white one. So let's go add shapes, again circle. Let's make it 5.2. Before I do that, this circle here must be dark. So if I put this circle in there, this one must be white. So if I look at the outside one, my very first one, let's see, is 10. Then the next one is 9.2, so it's 0.8. So let's look at this. This one is 5.8. This one must be 5 then to have exactly the same line. Let's align and center. Cool. We're getting there. Our last circle will be the inner circle here. So let's go back. That one is white. Let's add another circle. And this one, that one was 5. Let's make this one 4.8 and see what the difference is. I think just a little bit more. Maybe let's try that. And this one I also want white. So let's highlight them, align and center. I think that looks exactly the way we want it. Alright, so now the next thing I want to do is I want to add the banner. So I unfortunately haven't figured out how to do the banner with open sides yet. So I'm making a, let's see. Okay, so now that we added the square, the important thing is we want to turn it into a rectangular. So we first have to open it here with the little lock. We unlock it. And then, okay, let's start. If it's locked and you move it, it stays a square. But if I unlock it, then I can change the size or the shape. Okay, so let's put it here. Okay, now it is to center it the way I want it. And I'm looking at my area there and here to have it more or less the same. And then of course what is showing out on the side. So I'm happy with that. And of course I want to make this white. So now I can add the text. Okay, let's do this. I did the by blare. There we go. And if I want to change this, you just double click in there and it brings up the box for you to change your words or the font. I'm going to the font option here. Now you'll see there's quite a few fonts here with the little A. It's the Cricut Access little logo. Unfortunately, I haven't got Cricut Access yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to buy the membership because I'm in South Africa. So let's see. I can't actually remember what font I used. But yeah, let's use Dreamland. There it changed it to that font. And I can now play with the size here in the font size. Make it a bit smaller. And then I move it in here. And I use this to move it and align it with. So once again, I can highlight from the side these two and go to align and say center. It'll put it exactly in the middle. So then we can add text here. Again, a text box. And let's say 100% . authentic and change the size of this font much smaller. So the very interesting thing here is I want to curve it to fit in there. So there's the beautiful curve button. If you click on it, if you go to the left, it curves upwards. If you go to the right from the center, it curves downwards. So I want to put this in here and see. Now I can see my font size is still much too big. Bring it in here, tilt it a bit, and my curve is too big. I must open it up a bit, turn it a bit more, and bring it more to the middle. So this gives you the idea of how you can play with this until it fits beautifully in there. I am not going to spend too much time on that because this is just to show you how it works. Okay, so that is my 100% authentic. I can add, although I just want to move this down a bit. There you go. I want to add a little star. Bring it to the size it would need to be to fit in there. And of course I want the little star that side, so all I'll do is I'll right click and I'll say duplicate, and it gives me another perfect little star to put in there. Okay, bring it down a bit. Okay, that was not too difficult at all. And then the name of my husband's little spice shop, and he makes chili sauce, is Old Time Hippie. So let's do that. Old Time Hippie. Again, change the font to much smaller. I'm going to curve it down. And I'm going to use that and move it up a bit, make the font a bit smaller, open the curve a bit, and bring it down. Okay, there we are. Okay, let me first of all show you, this is now separate pieces that's layered together. There's all my layers. You can see them in this little what do you call it, this panel here on my right hand side. Okay, so what I can do now, and you'll see the make it is open, and if I click on that, it does this. Okay, so I have my first mat with all the white articles on there, and I have the second mat with all the black pieces on there. I don't want to cut it like this. So I made a plan, and I'm not exactly sure how to do it otherwise. I'm just going to cancel here right at the bottom. I'm going to cancel. I wasn't sure how to make this, even if I highlight all of this and I click on group here in the top right hand, I click on group. What makes this fantastic now, this is now one unit. I can move it around on my mat. I can resize it, make it smaller, make it bigger. Alright, but still, if I click on make it and I want to cut it, it is different pieces. It's all the white pieces and all the black pieces. So I'm not sure exactly how else to do this. I got an idea from a tutorial that I watched to do the following. I want to screenshot this. But first of all, if you click in this little block here between the 0 and the 0 there, if you click there, it takes away the grid. So if you click it again, there's a bigger grid. A second time, the smaller grid. And if you click it a third time, there's nothing. I'm going to take a screenshot of this, but first of all, I'll make the image much bigger, and it's just easier, you'll see once we do the screenshot. On my computer, it is the Windows key print screen, and then of course I go to the screenshots, and there it is. When I open it, I click on edit and create. I want to edit this picture, I want to crop it, I make it smaller like this. I'm sure there's a shorter way which somebody will probably tell me, but for now this is what I do. And then I save it as, and I'll call this Spice Final, and I'll put it in my Cricut video, in the Spice video, and I'll save it as a JPEG. Okay, so now I go back to Design Space. Let's save this one, and I'll just say example, and I'll put it under my Spice collection, and then I go to a new project. I click on upload here at the bottom left, and I click on upload image, and when I browse, I'll go to my Spice video, and I'll click on my Spice final image, and here it is. So I'm uploading this image into Design Space. If it is a simple black and white picture like mine, I just click on simple, and I click on continue right here at the bottom right. So all I need to do is, I have to, because this won't cut as different colors, so in other words, I have to choose only the black and take away the white. So if I click on the background, you'll see it makes a little checkered background, which means it is now transparent. I will not click on the black, but I'll click on the next white, and I'll click on the next white, and the next white in my circles, and I will continue this way until all my circles that is white and not black is now transparent. And I'll click here in the rectangular also. You can preview in the middle here at the bottom, you can preview, and it'll show you what it will cut. So all the letters, the O for instance, we need those little circles in the middle. So hide preview, and you make sure your little cross is there in the opening there, and again on the D and the E. If you by accident click on the black, it is not a problem. I'll show you now. So let's do a preview and see if we opened up all those. So old time hippie looks okay to me. If I click on the B on the black and it takes away the B, you just here at the top right undo, and I can go back and click in all the white spaces. Sometimes, that's why I like to make the picture quite big. I can always make it smaller, but if I save it as a JPEG, I make it quite big so that you can easily open up all the white spaces. I've done quite a few that is very small, like that A, for instance. See, I clicked on the black, and I will, okay, let's do a preview first. Now you can see exactly what it'll cut. The E there is open, all my letters at the top is open, the black is where it should be, white is where it should be. I'm just going to open that off camera because I'll waste a lot of time. Alright, so now we're ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the image that I've done before this video. And there it is, and I'm going to say here at the right bottom, insert image, and there it is. So now it's 35 centimeter by 12, which is a bit too big. So I'm going to bring it down to about 27 by, I'm going to unlock it here, 27 to, I'm just making it a bit smaller, it's 26 by 8. That would be okay. Alright, so now we're going to cut it. So if I click here in the right top corner, make it. It shows me my mat. And since this is all black, it's on the black mat. I don't need to mirror this because I'm not using iron-on vinyl, but normal permanent vinyl. So this will cut as it is. So the next thing I must click on is continue. Okay, my machine is ready. I've set the setting to vinyl. I don't need to do anything there. This is just the fast mode, so I can continue.
Welcome to the cutting part of this video. This is my setup. I'm working with the Cricut vinyl. I'm just moving this to the side, and this is my standard cutting mat. So what I did is I put a little sticker on my protective layer so that when I take it off, I put exactly the same side back onto the sticky side back onto the mat. There we go.